Warning, this video may contain things and content that may not be suitable for all audience, so viewer discretion is advised. For mature audiences only. Wink wink, let's get it! What is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic video for that ass today. Sincerely hoped everybody is blessed. Sincerely hoped everybody's having a good one. The doc is having a great one. Today, and only today, are we going to talk about what turns Filipinas on. I repeat, today, and only today, are we going to have the conversation about what really turns Filipinas on. Now, there is a specific reason why I chose to do this video in the way that I did it. All right. What I did is I had some help. Shout out to everybody who helped me in this conduction of a survey wherein I asked one question to a bunch of Filipinas and I chose the best answers out of the ones that I received. Okay. Quick question was, what turns you on and what do you like in a foreigner? All right. That is the general overall question that is being asked in this video. What turns you on and what do you like in a foreigner? Now, the reason I chose to do this more so in a format wherein you receive answers basically without having to put a camera in a young lady's face, the reason I found that to be the best way of going about it is simply because you can pretty much get an honest answer from people when they're not put on the spot to answer the question right in front of your face. And especially when there's anonymity, which means the ability to remain anonymous, you can almost guarantee that the answers that you're going to get are going to be honest and forward. I believe, that you can expect that. So for the answers that I've chosen, I can almost say there are a couple of them out there that are a little, damn, I can't believe she said that. You're going to have some normal answers, but without further ado, I do not wish to hold on to this video very long. Let's go ahead and get it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not wait. So lady number one, question asked, what turns you on and what do you like in a foreigner? Her answer specifically was, and there will be pictures so that you guys can kind of get an idea of what the young lady looks like. Of course, anonymity still remains, but we're going to create, we're going to make it look a little bit, you're going to get an understanding of what the young lady looks like. So her answer was she likes a foreigner, or what really turns her on is intellect or intelligence, commitment. All ladies want a guy to commit, character. That's what really turns them on. And then she says what she likes in a foreigner is learning of a new culture and, of course, another way of life. Now, I like this answer. She's stimulated by intellectual conversation. This is you can pretty much get an idea that this young lady may have a higher intellect than your average Filipina. Definitely interested in somebody who's ready to commit to a relationship and the character of a person, And I've learned through my time in the Philippines that this type of stuff really does turn women on. Being able to show that you are a person of, good character and things like that. I've learned that really turns some women on. And of course, as she says right here, what she likes in a foreigner, she's able to learn a new culture. And of course, of course, a new way of life. Now that's always intriguing to me as well, because no different than us coming to the Philippines and wanting to understand the culture of a Filipina. Most Filipinas want to understand the culture of a foreigner, okay? So I believe that was a very honest answer. So we're going to move forward. Trust me, guys, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. All right, moving on to lady number two. Question asked, as you see, what turns you on and what do you like in a foreigner? She says she likes them serious and honest, loyal, loving, caring, and, of course, somebody that she feels that she can trust. And, of course, I do believe that, again, as I previously stated, that is what turns your average woman on. Somebody that they know will be there for them. Somebody that they know will be honest with them. somebody that, she can have trust with. I do believe that that's really something that turns a Filipino on. A lot of people don't give credit to the simple fucking bland answers, but you would be surprised at how turned on Filipinas are by guys who are just honest and there and willing to be a part of their lives and vice versa. You understand? So that comes from lady number 2. All right. Moving on to lady number 3. This one is where it gets a little bit interesting. Question asked, what turns you on? What do you like in a foreigner? And I said, give me your honest answer. And what did she say? First things first, what really turns her on is the accent. She is very fond of a person's accent. I've heard this before. She goes on to say most native English speakers would say that the French and the Italian accents are without a doubt the hottest, in which she believes that to be understandable. She says everybody has their own preference as to which accents they find to be the sexiest. So she is genuinely turned on by accents. And I've heard that before. Girls like guys with sexy accents. There are some girls who like guys with the British accent. There are some girls who like guys with the, French accent, Italian accents, or whatever. I've heard that, and I do believe that to be accurate. But she is the first Filipina that I've ever heard mention that. Also, I do want to give you the FYI that these women don't speak for all the women in the Philippines, but I think for my foreigners, it gives you a general idea of what these girls find to be attractive in a foreigner man, and what really turns them on. Sexy accents, and of course, I'm not going to go there. But anyways, you guys get the idea. What turns this Filipino on and what she finds to be attractive in foreigners is the accent. All right. Moving on to lady number 4, I believe. All right. Same question asked. What turns you on? What do you like about a foreigner? She says, actually, for her, it's simple. If the guy is sincere and passionate in what he is doing and has a good heart, that's all about it. No more. That's pretty much her answer. If a person is passionate about what they're doing and is genuinely sincere, that's what turns her on. I like that. All right. Definitely an honest answer. Something that we can all agree on. Something that we can all agree to disagree on. But of course, what turns her on is aforementioned simple guy that is sincere and passionate. All right. I like that. All right. Moving on to the next young lady. Question asked, what is it that turns you on? What do you like about foreigners? Oh my God. This young lady came out without a doubt and told you what it was all about. She says she likes a foreigner that is well endowed. I'm not going to tell you exactly what she said. You can see it on the screen. Wow. She likes a foreigner that is well endowed. She said you got to have a big one. All right. So I had to get a little bit creative in the questioning with this one, because you can't just leave it at that, right? So you ask, but what turns you on before you see that? Of course, you like a man that's well endowed, but what attracts you to a guy before you're able to see his package? All right. Kind of got to drag the question on just a little bit longer. Pun intended. She says your features and of course skin. I think she's honest in her more assessment as more of something on a physical feature side. She's more explaining that this is what physically turns me on, your physical features and of course skin color, whatever it may be that she is talking about. So from this young lady's perspective, what turns her on, besides the fact that a person has to be well endowed, the features, what you look like, how you present yourself, etc. All right. So we're going to move on to the next young lady. I asked her, exactly, what is it that turns you on? What do you like about foreigners? She says, I haven't met a lot of foreigners, so I don't know what to answer with that. So I said, so in general, what turns you on? What generally turns you on? If you haven't met a lot of foreigners and you don't know what attracts you to foreigners, then what in general turns you on? She says, these days, I don't know what, I think she meant what turns me on. And then she says, alcohol, LOL. All right. So I guess alcohol gets the party started for her. And I said, seriously, alcohol is the answer? And I said, okay, thanks. And she said, alcohol was the final answer. I said, alcohol is the final answer? She said, yes, alcohol is the final answer. Found that to be intriguing. What generally turns this young lady on is a little bit of, partaking in the substances and whatnot like that. But I have noticed that a lot of girls are, in general, turned on, when it comes to drinking. That's not really something that is too far-fetched. All right. I got to admit, guys, that is not too far out of the norm. A lot of girls find the inebriation, not necessarily getting drunk, drunk like that, to be something to turn her on, but you get a little bit of alcohol in their system. It definitely does get the party started a whole lot quicker. So sometimes if your young lady is into drinking, it may allow you guys to get from point A to point B relatively quickly. All right. Moving on to the next young lady. Question asked again, what turns you on and what do you like in a foreigner? She says she likes a gentleman and a guy that is neat. Now, this is a different perspective that we've talked about before, presenting yourself in a manner in which you're not looking like a haggard hobo or anything like that. You're a gentleman, you're respectful to a young lady, and you present yourself in a neat manner. You're not dressed like a bum. Girls really look at the way you're dressed and they can judge you based off the way that you are dressed. So definitely I was glad that she brung this particular instance to the table as far as what she likes in a foreigner. Being neat. Being neat is something that is very rarely talked about, but I'm glad that she said it. All right. So the question again asks, what is it that turns you on? Is it the exact same thing that turns you on? Being neat and a gentleman. She says, what turns me on in terms of sexually is kissing and oral. Guys, you know what oral is, right? Oral sex. Okay. So I said, is that you giving the oral or you receiving the oral? You got to stretch the question and you can't just leave it at that, right? So moving on, you get the answer, of course, receiving, of course. Tell me what person doesn't like to receive, all right? But she did save herself. She did save herself and also mentioned that she also likes to give it as well. So what turns her on? A guy who's a gentleman, a guy who presents himself in a neat manner, and of course, kissing and oral sex. Foreplay, people. Filipinas like foreplay too, so don't sleep on that. What turns your average Filipino on? Foreplay. All right. So, moving on to the next young lady. Question asked, what is it that turns you on? What do you like in a foreigner? And she says that she likes a serious guy and one that is helpful, right? She says she likes a serious guy and one that is helpful. Now, the word helpful can be taken in many different ways. When you hear a girl, says that she likes a guy that's helpful, maybe able to help her out of a situation, maybe able to help her, financially, maybe able to help her, mentally, physically, whatever it may be. But helpful can take on many different aspects. But a person that is a serious guy to her and one that will be willing to help her is what really turns her on and what she likes about a foreigner. Okay. All right. The next young lady, same question asked. What do you like about foreigners and what turns you on? She says she believes that foreigners are sweet and that they're not like Filipino men, because she feels that Filipino men are not passionate with their girlfriends. She believes that your average Filipino man is not passionate with their girlfriend. I found that to be intriguing. And then, of course, she goes on to add that when it comes to the act of being intimate, she feels that foreigners are definitely going to satisfy. Yeah, that's her. That's what she said. You see it right in front of you guys. I can't make this shit up. I love bringing the receipts to you guys. I can't make this up even if I tried. She said that she believes wholeheartedly that when it comes to the act of intimacy, She believes foreigners are definitely going to satisfy. All right. So as we move on to this next young lady, I have to admit this one was indifferent. I love this answer because it gives me a lot to talk about. Question asked, what turns you on? What do you like in a foreigner? Honest answer. She says, I don't like maniac. I don't like foreigners. She openly said that she does not like foreigners at all. And when you hear a Filipina says that she doesn't like a maniac, that's kind of like more so words that are used to describe foreigners. You know, in general, when you meet foreigners online, they're known for asking for sexual pictures. They're known for asking for, video chats and cam chats that, involve the girls taking their clothes off or something like that. So when you hear a Filipino refer to foreigners as maniacs, that's pretty much what they mean in the general sense. They're talking about guys who basically always asking for sexual things, even if they never met in person. So basically, she came out and said that she doesn't like foreigners at all. At all. She just doesn't. So nothing about a foreigner turns her on. She just doesn't like them. So further investigation asks, did you have a bad experience with a foreigner before, or why is it that you do not like foreigners? She just says foreigners are maniacs. I know that because a lot of foreigners chat me. That's why I don't like foreigners. Honest answer, man. Honest answer. And so you have to keep pressing an issue on this particular question. It says, okay, but what do they say to you that makes you say that they're all maniacs? Like, what is it that these foreigners are doing online that makes you believe that they're all crazy people or maniacs and stuff like that? She says it's just her opinion. That's just how she feels. And again, you cannot hate on a person for how they feel or what they believe to be accurate and real. She believes foreigners are maniacs. So be it. You got to let it go. Thanks for that. Have a good one and keep it pushing forward. All right. Moving on to the next young lady. Question asked, what turns you on about a foreigner? What do you like in a foreigner? She says that she likes someone who loves and accepts her for who she is. Now, apparently, the information that I received about this young lady from the person who was helping me out with this said that she is a single mother. So, single moms and the older Filipinas, I guess, she's just looking for someone to love her and accept her for who she is. She wants somebody who is willing to accept the fact that she does have a kid, somebody who's willing to accept the fact that she, is just a young lady looking for love. I mean, and that's, respectfully. All right. So again, we asked the question again, what turns her on about foreigners? The next young lady, of course. And what she likes in foreigners and what turns her on. She says having a word of honor. She doesn't like a guy that is not showing his true feelings. So, you can respect that. So then you further push the issue. What turns you on? She says for her, Filipinos and foreigners are the same. What really turns her on is the attitude of the person. And you can respect that. I mean, a girl that doesn't really see a difference in race or anything, it's more or less the attitude of the man. I'm like, that's cool. You can respect that, right? All right. So moving on to the next. As you see before you question ask what turns you on, what do you like in a foreigner? She says scent. As long as that person doesn't have body odor. Now that's interesting. She's the first person I've ever heard mention this. She wants a guy who has a good scent, no body odor, clean living, witty, confident, funny, who can dominate. Oh God. Who can dominate her. Okay, getting a little bit hot and heavy in here. And also somebody who is God loving. Of course, she mentioned she likes them tall, dark, and of course, whatever it may be. Now, let's go back to the top real quick. She says she likes the guy with the scent. For me, a lot of people don't know this, but I have a signature scent. I have a signature cologne, eau de toilette, whatever you want to call it, that I like to wear. So this is a cologne that I am known to wear a lot. And I think that having a signature scent is very, very key. Your natural man smell, yes, as long as it doesn't stink, is also very attractive to Filipinas as well. My girl has told me that before. It's weird. She's like, I just like the way you smell. I'm like, that's weird. But okay, some girls are naturally turned on by your natural man scent. But for the most part, the cologne or whatever you choose to be your signature scent is very, very key. You know, that a signature scent tells a lot about a man. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It tells a lot about a guy. So if you want to know what turns a Filipino on, your scent, what you smell like. As long as you don't stink, you're good to go. All right, this is just some tidbits of information that I believe will be very, very helpful to you in the long run, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I created this particular topic. This is why I did the surveys, to actually get the answers, okay? And I try to include a multitude of different answers so that you guys can have a plethora of ideas of what really turns Filipinas on. All right, moving on. Question asked. What turns you on and what do you like about a foreigner? Honest answer. She said, and read it there, ladies and gentlemen. She said, money. Say it one more time with me. Money. No ifs, ands, or asses about it. What turns her on and what she likes about a foreigner is money. And I love that answer. That was probably the best answer that you could possibly get, because if you ask foreigners, that is probably the most honest answer that she could probably give in this particular video. And again, the reason why I ask these questions specifically like this is because it allows women to be honest. For some women that needed to take a longer time to actually answer the question, they had time to do so. If they wanted to come up with something creative, if they wanted to come up with something honest on a sexual, intimate level, they had every right to do so. You know, it gave them the right to answer the question how they want to, as opposed to putting a camera in their face and asking them, yo, what turns you on? What do you like about foreigners? You understand? So it really wasn't about, oh, because this black guy is asking me, I'm going to tell him that I like black guys or some shit like that. Nothing like that. As you can tell, there was a plethora of different answers. I chose the best ones because I felt like this video would drag on forever and ever if I did not. But I want to give you guys my final thoughts on this particular video, on what I learned while I was conducting this particular survey. And thank you everybody who helped me out with getting this particular information. You guys are awesome. Sometimes you can't do it all by yourself. Sometimes you have to have help. And thank you guys for helping to push the narrative and helping to get the ideas out there for all of my foreigners who asked and who are dying to know what turns Filipinas on and what do they like in foreigners. Thank you for helping me out in this particular venture, okay? Now let's talk about what we can learn from this. I felt that women who are talking about the loving and caring parts, when things like that, the more intellectual answers are usually from women who are older, highly educated, or, you know, educated, and also women who are already, you know, single mothers. The women who gave the, I want a person to love me, respect me, accept me. Those answers came from the ladies who are already either in their elder years, not saying they're old, but in their, you know, 30s and above, as opposed to, you know, where, yeah, I'm saying that they're older and they're at that level in their life where sex is not really an issue, or they don't really put as high of a level of sex as it being important to the relationship. In contrast, your average foreigner, definitely highly, probably hypersexually active. So, you know, I think that they'll be more willing and open to go with that. So with that being said, I felt like the answers that were more intellectual and more about loving and caring and stuff like that came from women who are older. And but the questions or the answers that came that were sexual in nature, those girls were not young either. We're talking about mid-20s and, you know, above. So they're not young girls talking about just sex and stuff like that. Again, sex is definitely a part of some women's, you know, a very big part of a woman's and part of a relationship with Filipino women, I should say. I'm sorry, I keep getting it wrong. Forget the fact that the Philippines is a conservative country. Women have needs, ladies and gentlemen. I'll say that one more time. Women have needs. So definitely something to take into consideration. I did not want to make this video very long, but I'm pretty sure that it is. But I thank you guys for listening in and actually participating in this one. For those that helped me out, definitely interested to hear what you guys got to say in the comment section below. This is just going to be one continuous video. Don't kill me for it. We're having fun, ladies and gentlemen. But with that being said, the good doc is officially out. At least knuckle. Paalam, which means we're going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.